this isn't something that I've talked a lot about, but especially on the channel and all that kind of stuff, because I don't like getting super mushy-gushy on social media. But I haven't actually talked about why I started the 90-Day Millionaire Challenge to begin with. And it kind of sounds like a really corny story. But I think this kind of video, especially halfway through, is the perfect opportunity to tell this story. So, for a little context, Josh, you know this, but our audience doesn't. I have spinal muscular atrophy, which is a type of muscular dystrophy. So I've been in a wheelchair my whole life, will be in a wheelchair my whole life, and I rely on a bunch of different people to help me, like transfer in and out of bed, and shower, and dress, and all that kind of stuff. And for the longest time, I've been working with caregiving agencies that were paid out through my insurance company. And about a year ago, actually, at this point, we started really facing a lot of challenges, getting caregivers to come, and getting reliable personnel to help me out. And that meant that I ran into a lot of crazy situations, like getting stuck in bed until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or having people not show up, and all of that kind of stuff, which might not sound like a lot, but when you rely on other people for everything, for something as simple as getting out of bed in the morning, those things can really rock your life down to its foundations. And this had been going on for months, and I told myself, I don't know what I have to do, but I have to find a way to be able to find quality caregivers, and the only way that I can do that is make sure that I can pay for quality caregivers. Because there are a lot of people out there that are willing to do a job if you can pay them a good amount. And these agencies are trying to pay their best, but a 15 an hour job versus a 25 an hour job is a big difference in terms of who you're able to attract. So I committed to myself about a year ago that I was going to try and find a way that I could get high quality caregivers that I could pay well so that they stuck around for a long time. And that was kind of the key to my independence as my future kind of unfolded. And I had no idea what I was going to do. Like, no idea what I was going to do. I considered buying franchises, but I was a broke college student. I considered, like, every type of business out there that looks like it's going to be a fast path to a bunch of money, like drop shipping and e-commerce and all that kind of stuff. I looked at all of it, but I didn't understand it. And because I didn't understand it, I didn't feel comfortable moving forward. So I thought and I prayed and I worked and I looked and I searched. And, 6 months went by and I didn't really find anything. And I said, okay, well, I guess I just need to make do with the life that I have right now. Which is not the life that I would have wanted for myself, but I kind of gave up. And then, in the middle of the summer, I had an experience, which I'm not going to go into a ton of detail about, but I had an experience where I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I had an experience where I was looking at my life and I was praying and I was told that the challenges that I was facing were an opportunity to see how great my God was, which is super humbling and confusing, because you look at your challenges and you say, my life is rough right now and I kind of hate it. It's not what I want it to be, and I feel trapped and I feel alone. And then you have an experience that says, yes, but this is good for you. It's confusing and it kind of feels defeating. But the more that I talked about it, the more that I talked to people about it, the more that I thought about it, the more I realized that this was an opportunity for me to become the person that could save myself. So, I got to work again. And by sheer happenstance, I stumbled across a show called Undercover Billionaire. You might have heard of Undercover Millionaire or Undercover Boss. This is kind of similar, but really not. The show takes people with a net worth of about $1 billion and it strips them of all their money and all of their business contacts, puts them in a city where they know no one, where they've never been before, and they say, build $1 million, $1 million business in 90 days. I was like, this is crazy. I've got to watch this. So I watched it, and I saw 4 billionaires over the course of 3 months each build businesses. Now, not all of them were successes, but the lowest value business that they were able to build in 90 days was $800,000. I was like, if I can build an $800,000 business in 90 days, I'll be doing good. But then I asked myself, well, can I actually do something like this? I don't know. I don't have decades of business experience. It's not like I'm here, secretly hiding the fact that I've built 14 other companies before. So I asked myself, can regular people do this? I would love to know. And I looked and I looked and I didn't find anything. Nobody that had built a business or that had showcased a challenge similarly. So I said, you know what? Why not me? I don't have the business experience, but at least I have a house and I have food and I don't have to go out and find all those things. And I can keep my personal business contacts and my business network and all that kind of thing. So in some ways the challenge was harder, but in some ways the challenge was easier if I decided to do it on my own. And I was like, this is insane. This was back in August of 2023. This is insane. This is a crazy idea. No one in their right mind would do a challenge like this, right? I mean, Josh, do you know anyone else who would take on building a business right before the school semester was about to start?
I mean, I know plenty of college students that start good businesses, but I don't know anybody that have put a cap on the amount of time that it would take.
Yeah. I'm nothing if not ambitious. But I went back to prayer and I said, okay, it's miracle time. Tell me to do this or tell me not to do this. And if you tell me to do this, I'm going all in. I'm jumping off the ledge. And if you tell me not to do this, I'll back away from the ledge and we can reconsider another time. And again, I'm not going to go into details with this, but I got a very strong confirmation that said, if you don't do it now, you're always going to be wondering whether you could. I said, okay, well, cowabunga, we're jumping off the ledge. And that was the very first day that I recorded the 90-Day Millionaire Challenge videos. Not just to prove to myself that I could build $1 million business in 90 days. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But to prove to the world and to other entrepreneurs out there that think that they're not smart enough, or they don't have enough business experience, or they don't know what they would build their business around, or they're not good on camera, or whatever, go for it. Who's to tell you you can't? Because if I can build a $1 million business in 90 days, trust me, I am not the smartest person in the world. You can do it too. Or at the very least, you can build something that you can be proud of. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've found. I don't talk about the reason that I started it that often, but I started it partly for myself to be able to regain the independence and the freedom of my own life. But it's all about community for me. I was the kid with a disability growing up in high school that said I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to build an empire. As I grew up, the world kept saying, yeah, but people with disabilities can't control the world. They don't run the world. They're not celebrities. They're not business tycoons. They're not. And yes, my stamina is not very great. I'm a slow typer. I don't look like your average charismatic camera guy. But so what? If I can do it, maybe there's a kid out there that feels the world telling them that they can't do it, that decides, you know what? Maybe screw the world because I think I can do it, and that's enough for me. Anyway, mushy-gushy time over, I suppose. My hope for us, for you and me, Josh, is that we can build something that we're proud of, and that we can look back and we can say, we have no regrets because it at least was an adventure. That's all we're hoping that you can do with us. Just join us in the adventure. And if you happen to decide to take the leap and go on an adventure yourself, we'd love to hear about it. And if you don't, just know that somewhere out there, there's an adventure waiting for you.